What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, July 18th, 2017. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the busiest lady in the business, Andrea Renee. Welcome home.
Hey, thank you.
How have you been?
You know, I've been excellent. I had a lovely vacation.
Over at kindafunny.com/KFGD, Tony Baraka, a.k.a. at Jericho TVB on Twitter, says, Andrea's back, Andrea, how was your vacation?
I had a fantastic time.
Interrupt Andrea mid-answer with, sounds like you had a great time, but really, how excited is Andrea for the Destiny 2 beta, which starts mere hours after this podcast is filmed? Thanks for what you do, Tony. And I think it actually started already now.
Yeah, I downloaded it last night. I almost ran the first mission before driving here this morning.
Yeah, because it popped at 10, I think, right?
It did, 10 a.m. Pacific time, but I didn't want to be late. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make sure it downloaded. It did. It's ready to go as soon as I get home.
And so is that the plan? As soon as you can get, well, you're filming with us even more after this and then running right home to play?
Well, and I have to play Wolfenstein today.
You got a stacked
preview
day.
event.
Yeah, big day. Okay.
It's going to be great.
Heavy as the crown. But for real, vacation was cool?
Yeah, I had pasta or pizza or bread for every meal every day for the last 13 days.
Wow. Okay.
That's more carbs than I've eaten in the last 5 years.
But okay, I agree. I agree, Kevin. Good job.
It was excellent though. I don't really eat pasta here in the States. It's just not a thing I eat anymore. Sure. And it was excellent. Awesome. I even did a cooking class where John and I made our own pasta.
Ooh.
So now I know how to hand make pasta.
Very nice. Yeah, Jen does that too. I'm like, that's just way too much. Just get it in the box, crack it, and put it in the water.
It's actually surprisingly easy to do.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're making like spaghetti or something, then you need the machine.
What did you learn to make?
We made fettuccine and oh my gosh, I don't remember. It's like this little round thing that's got things. No, it looks kind of like gnocchi, but then when you press it over this board and puts lines in it, dang it, I'll look it up. It was good. I'd never eaten it in a restaurant before, though. I'd never made this or seen this kind of pasta before.
Jen made gnocchi again from scratch last night, but this like pesto gnocchi. Mm-hmm. She's crazy. She's a crazy person. Yeah. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily each and every weekday here on a variety of platforms. We jump into the nerdy news you need to know about in the video game world and get really in depth and get really gross with it and talk about it and do all that different stuff. You can catch it live as we record it on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. But remember, we don't interact with you unless you go to kindafunny.com/you're wrong. Tell us what we screw up during the live recording of the show, which we get to at the end. Make the record clear. Everybody's happy. You can get the show on youtube.com/kindafunnygames after we record it. You can get it on podcast services as well. And remember, no matter where you're consuming it, please subscribe, rate it, share it with your friends. It matters for us, even if you're just watching on Twitch, to get those numbers up on iTunes so people can go find it and all that great stuff. Housekeeping, there's a new party mode up right now over on patreon.com/kindafunnygames. If you give us $1, if you don't, no big deal. It'll be up on youtube.com/kindafunnygames tomorrow. I'm hosting 2 Comic-Con panels Thursday if you're there. One's for Call of Duty, World War II. The other, Marvel games, a whole bunch of stuff. They're announcing it right now on Twitter, so I'm not sure what they've announced, so I won't say anything.
I'm also hosting a Comic-Con panel.
When?
I'm hosting the Life is Strange Before the Storm panel. That is Friday, July 21st at 6:30 p.m. If you're going to be in San Diego, please come by. Nice. It's going to be excellent. And then I'm doing guest spots on a Marvel gaming thing as well.
Ooh, Comic-Con. When do you go down?
I leave on Thursday after we shoot Kinda Funny Games Daily.
Gotcha. Oh, spoilers too. We have to talk about this. It's not that big of a spoiler. Thursday, for the first time ever, it's going to be you and Danny.
OMG.
I'm out on Comic-Con. Tim's out on assignment getting Kinda Funny Live ready because on Sunday,
gonna be great.
We have this giant stream all day, Sunday, 11 to 5 p.m., doing a giveaway stream, giving away 1 million games, doing a whole bunch of different stuff. And then at 5 p.m., we release Kinda Funny Live 3 as a video we can all watch together on a private YouTube stream. But then if you're already giving us money on Patreon, you get it as an on-demand when that's all wrapped up.
So who's going to sit in that chair? Do we have to
totally your call?
I don't like rock, paper, scissors for it?
I don't know what you guys want to do. I don't know how you want to do it. Maybe just bring in a third chair and leave this chair just a little memorial. You know what I mean? Think about what it wants. Let's start the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. Hold on, I added the one late in the game when I was putting it all together. Pages are sticking. There are 4 items on the Roper Report.
A baker's dozen.
Thank you. I'm glad there's consistency in the baker's dozen voice. I don't mind that there's no consistency in the Roper Report jingle. First one, I saw Jeff Keighley break. which really he just put up this blog post he linked to a blog post that I didn't see. Casey Hudson's coming back to BioWare.
Yay!
How fucking crazy is that? He left. He was the guy who, like, you thought Mass Effect, you're going to have a Mass Effect interview, you're going to talk to Casey Hudson. And after 3, he left. And it was like, oh, wow, that's a big change. Now he's back. Let's read his entire post. This is from Casey Hudson, incoming general manager of BioWare. Almost 20 years ago, I decided to apply for a job as a technical artist at a local video game company in Edmonton. Young and fresh out of university, I'm not sure what I expected it to lead to. But it was the beginning of a career full of experiences and shared accomplishments I never could have dreamed of. So when I left BioWare 3 years ago, it was the most difficult decision of my career. I needed some time off, needed a bit of a change, and wanted to get involved in a new wave of disruptive technologies that were emerging. The last few years have been transformative for me, from having time to reflect on what I most want to do to working with new technologies at platform scale. And now, I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to return to lead BioWare, a studio that I think of as home. I'd also like to wish my good friend Aaron Flynn the very best in the future. Aaron and I have worked together from the earliest days of Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic, to setting the foundation for Anthem. We've been through a lot together, and we're all going to miss his presence at the studio. I think I speak for everyone who has worked with Aaron and our fans when I say thank you for everything. BioWare continues to hold a special magic full of profoundly talented people and an inspiring creative energy. When I look at the stunning progress Aaron and the team has made with Anthem and the other projects in the works, I truly believe our best is yet to come. So, interesting. It's like it's a loaded statement. Casey's back. Everyone's excited. Yay. Also, Aaron Flynn's gone. Aaron Flynn's leaving BioWare now. That's the end of that. And like, oh, okay. It's a great way to announce the news. It's a great way to put all this in there.
It's a very smart way to announce the news, because if they hadn't announced it that way and really had this celebratory return of Casey Hudson, people might have inferred, maybe nefarious reasons why Aaron Flynn was leaving, why he was maybe pushed out, why he quit. We don't really know the details about, why he chose to leave. Maybe he has another fantastic opportunity to pursue.
Do you know, has there been a statement? Because I was coming into the morning show right as this posted. So up until I just read that, I didn't know 2 and 2 together that Aaron was gone now and Casey was in.
I don't think I've seen an official statement.
I didn't know if he's tweeted or anything or something like that, or if IGN or anybody else has dug into it or whatever. Because that is like, oh man, what a bummer. Because Aaron's great. I mean, don't get me wrong, Casey's awesome too. I've known both these guys for a while and covered games, but I didn't realize one meant the other was not going to be there, which is interesting and sad to an extent.
Well, they were on 2 different teams, right? So I think that, when you think about when you need somebody to lead the ship, I mean, they both can't be leading the ship, right?
Sure.
So if Casey was talking to them about, hey, I'd like to come back, maybe the thing he was doing was like, this was cool for a while, and now I'm going to exit and try something else. Maybe it was just a coincidence of time that Aaron was like, actually, I wanted to go do this other thing, so how about I step down and Casey comes back? Mm-hmm. I hope it was amicable like that.
Yeah,
I really do.
So too. That's why I'm wondering if
most of the people that I've ever worked with or talked to or had relationships with on the BioWare team have all been wonderful, and I want to believe that it was all very friendly and everyone was shaking hands and excited about the transition.
So I'm going to read another blog post. This is from Aaron Flynn, who put up a thank you for everything post today. After 17 years with BioWare, today I announced that I'll be leaving the studio at the end of July and that Casey Hudson is returning to Edmonton to take on the role of general manager for BioWare. I joined BioWare in Edmonton right out of university. I was privileged to get a chance to join a group of people working on the coolest, most creative things I could imagine. Growing up at BioWare, the events in my life are intimately intertwined with the events of the studio. I got married just after we finished Neverwinter Nights. My first son was born while we were wrapping up Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, while my second son was born right after Jade Empire. From my first day until now, I've learned much, met great colleagues and friends, and got the chance to help give players some truly incredible experiences. Every time I think I've found a favorite game-making experience, we start something new and somehow find fun and satisfaction in the new challenges. I've been contemplating changes in my own life for some time, but when I heard Casey had confirmed that he was up to the task, I realized the opportunities before us. I will be working with him over the next couple of weeks to catch him up and do my part to set him up for success to be the best GM he can be. In closing, let me thank our players for everything they've given us over these many years, and to say from the bottom of my heart how important you are to me and the rest of BioWare. I've gone to work every day knowing that I am fortunate to have all of the opportunities I have had at BioWare because of you. Doing whatever I could to help our developers create some of the best games in the industry for you has you all has been the most humbling experience of my life. Now, I'll be playing BioWare's games in the future from an exciting new perspective. Yours, smiley emoji, Aaron.
Well, that sounds very nice and
very
pleasant.
It always sounds nice, though. This is my whole spider sense.
Sometimes they don't. Sometimes you can hear like the duress in the message. And this doesn't sound like that.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's just an interesting move, and it's one of those... You figure the way it'll be portrayed for many, right, is that Mass Effect Andromeda was a miss to some people. Most people, technical glitches aside, all these different things, right? And so here's Casey Hudson, the guy who shepherded in so much of Shepard's era, coming back in for Anthem, this game people are super stoked about. Interesting. There's more to the story, I think.
We'll have to do some investigative work.
That's why I turn my eyes to you, Patrick Klepek and Jason Schreier. Go find your sources. Find out what's happening. Interesting. This will be developing, I'm sure, over the many weeks. But welcome back, Casey, and good luck, Aaron. Two really good dudes. Number 2, this is just some statistics. While you were gone, Andrea, this game you'd never heard of called PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds caught fucking fire. You left. The world's different. You left. Nobody had been playing this thing.
It was on fire before I left. We did a story like in the first week or so of this show talking about how it crossed $100 million of revenue.
Exactly. Today it's just a little nod to them that they put up that in July 2017 they became the fourth most ever like concurrence on Steam, whatever.
Beating GTA 5.
That's crazy. Yeah. So it goes. Dota 2 has 1.2 million peak players. Counter-Strike Global Offensive 850,000. Then a huge drop off. Fallout 4 about 472,000, and then PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds 382,561, and behind that, Grand Theft Auto 5, 360,000, and about 361.
It still blows my mind that Fallout 4 is third on that list.
Yeah,
that's bonkers.
Right? Yeah. Well, I think it was the excitement of that thing coming out, right? That it was a new Fallout, and we were getting this Fallout, and it was going to be crazy new everything, and building your houses and all that jazz.
No, but still, that it's still the concurrents are still so great.
Oh, that people are still playing Fallout 4?
Yeah, even today. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously these numbers aren't from
so to be clear, Dota 2's numbers March 2016, Counter-Strike was April 2016, Fallout 4 was November 2015 or 2015 at release. Battlegrounds is July, like we said, and then Grand Theft Auto was April 2015. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's you look at this list. So keeping going, right? Grand Theft Auto 5, then Payday 2, then No Man's Sky, then Civilization 6, and then Left 4 Dead 2, and then Terraria. Interesting. But it's such, this is, what people would play on Steam. So Dota makes sense. And then Fallout 4 at number 3, it's like, that was a huge day when that game came out. And it's interesting the fact that, I've talked, when Pete was on the Gamescast with me, I talked about it was like, that a success to you guys? Because it was this obviously financial success, runaway, all this different stuff. But Fallout 4 isn't talked about the way Fallout 3 is talked about. You know what I mean? Like Fallout 3 was something that changed everything.
Well, when Fallout 3 came out, the types of games, these massive open world exploratory environments, didn't have as much competition as they do today.
Yeah, 100%.
I know you guys were talking about that on the show yesterday, about how that kind of could be a defining factor of this generation.
Yeah.
And you have to really take that into account when you look at the numbers across all games. There's just far more competition for all platforms these days.
Yeah, 100%. And then I like No Man's Sky on there. When everybody's like, what is this game going to be? And then the backlash began.
Disappointment.
Number 3, let's talk about Destiny 2. As you know, Destiny 2's beta begins today for PlayStation 4 pre-orders, Xbox One is tomorrow, consoles in general on the 21st if you don't have any of that stuff, and then PC in August. However, GameSpot expounds on all of this. The Destiny 2 beta client received a big new update today. The client itself was up for preload last week, and the file size was less than 400 megabytes. Today's update, meanwhile, clocks in at 12.6 gigabytes on PlayStation 4, suggesting it contains all of the beta's content. You need to install the update if you want to play Destiny 2 beta. As announced previously, the beta has already begun by the time I read this, so I can skip out on that and know what I've just said. In the Destiny 2 beta, the Homecoming story mission will be open to all. The Strike and Crucible will require PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live Gold. Bungie also confirmed some further details on the paid/free status of the Destiny 2 beta. The Homecoming story mission is open to all players. Well, that's what they just said, depending on platform. That's weird. Anyways, now we're going to jump into my dog Nick 96, who immediately has a question about what we just read.
Of course.
He wrote into kindoffunny.com/KFGD, just like you can. My dog Nick 96 says, hey guys, The official Bungie Twitter has stated Destiny 2 beta will require PS Plus or Xbox Live Gold to play the Strike mission or Crucible mode. The opening mission and all other activities do not require the subscription, though. I first read the news and was unsure how I felt about it. First off, I'm not going to participate in the beta anyways, but I will purchase the game on release.
Of course you're not.
The Overwatch beta did not require PlayStation Plus, but did need gold on Xbox. Paragon does not require PlayStation Plus, but that might be an agreement with Sony. The MMO Final Fantasy 14 does not require PlayStation Plus, but the game is pay to play and has its own subscription service. DC Universe Online is another game that doesn't require PlayStation Plus. So why does it irk me slightly that players are required to pay for a portion of a limited beta? Maybe because it's limited or timed, as opposed to ongoing betas such as Gwent, which is free but has microtransactions that let you get more cards. I feel very mixed on this and I'm not sure where I stand. How do you feel about this and paying for betas in general? Thanks for all the hard work. I look forward to watching and listening every day. My dog Nick96. So dial it back. Andrea Renee, Ms. Destiny 2. Do you give a flying fuck that you have to this is connected in some way to PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live?
Not at all, because if you're going to play Destiny or Destiny 2, you're going to need those services to get the most out of the game.
Yeah.
If you're playing online multiplayer games, you have these services already, so it doesn't make sense to me why anyone would think that this is a major issue.
Yeah.
If you are actively participating in live service games, you already have these subscriptions. So I don't understand what the fuss is about.
And Destiny 2 will require, did Destiny 1 require?
Not all parts of Destiny
Okay.
requires PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live Gold.
Sure.
But the majority of the game does.
See, for me, that would be the thing about it, where it's like, there's this weird tightrope being walked of like, all right, cool, we're making an online-only game and charging for it. That kind of gets murky when there is a system that you have to pay for on the platform holder side to play online. And so there's an agreement you figure with Sony and Microsoft, like, all right, well, this content will be available for all so that if you bought the game, you could get something out of it. But I think it's also the carrot on the stick of like, hey, you're having fun here, right? You need to do that. I'm actually more for it in the beta than I would be in the real game. And I know there's no way around it in the real game, but for the beta, I think that's a great way of like, all right, cool. You are a kid who doesn't use PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live. You don't play games online. You just play local stuff. You're excited about Destiny. Jump in and try it. Do you think it's cool? Why not then buy, maybe not for the beta, but maybe for the full release. But even if you want to try it more, all right, cool. Buy a month of this. Buy 1 month of PlayStation Plus and check it out and kick the tires.
Yeah, there's got to be a free trial period for both of these services, are there not?
Yeah, I remember PlayStation Plus, it's been a while now. I remember they used to run 14-day trials like nobody business, and they were packed in with a lot of games.
Yeah,
I'm not sure where
I'm
they're
looking
at
it up right now, but there's... Absolutely, yeah. See, it's a 14-day trial on PS4, PS3, and PS Vita, and like, I can look up the Xbox Live. I know that they have free trials as well. Beta is not a very long period of time. Get your free trial.
Yeah.
Try the beta, and then there you are. You're good to go. And then you're gonna realize you enjoy those services. And you're gonna pay for them.
Yeah.
It's an interesting idea about betas being for 100% for free or being paid. I think it all comes down to what you want to get out of the content. I mean, I know you guys talked a little bit about this yesterday as well, but why not paid betas? As long as they're upfront about what content you have access to,
Sure.
what's available, how long it's available for. You know,
my thing about this one is I don't even think it's a paid beta. When you start saying paid beta, it feels like, oh, you want to beta test the game or play the beta, then give us $30 or whatever.
Right.
This is strictly like the answer. I would say if you're so offended by the idea of having to have Xbox Live or PlayStation Gold, is then maybe you want to play it on PC. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing of like, granted, I know that's not available now, and that's one of the many balances you have to sit and weigh for yourself as a gamer. If it is to the point though where you're like, man, I love this hobby and I love playing games, but the $60 game itself taxes my budget to the point that I can't afford PlayStation Plus every month, then, I mean, I understand that, but that's how PlayStation has set up their ecosystem. That's how they've made this happen. Maybe you need to look at something else in a different way. And this is what comes down to how you make decisions based on what's important to you.
Absolutely. I think it comes down to also, the value the game and the content brings to you, because somebody had to make this game and had to make the functionality work on the online ecosystem. And in order to do that, that requires funding, and they get part of that funding through these subscription services. So
yeah, I know it's me being, guy with a 34-year-old man, where it's just like, PlayStation Plus is on an auto renew on my credit card, and I never think about it. You know what I mean? I never ever think about the fact of like, oh man, I'm paying for this thing that, frankly, I guess, well, the exception now of like, well, no, I was gonna say I never use, but Friday 13th, Marvel Heroes, all this stuff. Like, I'm playing online games. I just don't think about it because every game is in some way online now. It feels like.
Absolutely. Yeah. And also, if you are an active console gamer on either the Xbox or PlayStation platforms, why wouldn't you want these subscription services? I think that they have more than proven their value. Both programs individually have great, things that you can get by having that subscription. So
yeah, I think it just comes down to if it's something where like, this is what we used to always say, like Colin and I, right? Of like, if it's getting to the point where it's like that extra $10 a month or whatever is like make or break. Well, maybe you shouldn't be buying games at all. Like, you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. That's what we always talk about of like, we all have this compulsion to buy these games and they sit on the shelf or in your Steam library or on your, cross media bar. And you're just like, I haven't played that game I bought a year ago. So why did I spend the $60 at that point? Stuff like that.
Exactly.
You got to make your decisions. But for me, I'm not offended by it.
Me neither.
It's 2017. This is how games are. And we all let it get this way. So it's all our fault. Number 4. Some speculation here. Telltale is teasing stuff and trademarking stuff, it appears. Telltale tweeted from their official account, quote, news coming this week during hashtag SDCC ... with an image that said summer 2017 update. All right, cool. Maybe you're going to announce some new games there. That is expected. Telltale would have stuff. Then everybody put on their conspiracy hats on the internet because Adam Harrington, who was Bigby in The Wolf Among Us, retweeted, hey, news is coming. Now, everyone who's picked up this story I've seen where he's like, and I'm not saying maybe they are making another Wolf Among Us. I'm not saying that. It's the fact that he retweeted and everybody's like, oh, Bigby retweeted it. Cool. He's also Groot in the Guardians game. He's also like a million characters in the Walking Dead universe because he's an extremely talented person. Adam Harrington is in a gajillion Telltale games. Now, granted, sure, he was Bigby. He was the Wolf Among Us. Who knows?
I think this is an actor who has a very positive working relationship with a developer who sees news and says, hey, I work with those guys all the time. Why don't I retweet their news?
I think it'd be bigger news if he wasn't in the next Telltale game, whatever it is, because he's always in everything. But then GameSpot has a little bit more. They said they were talking about all this, and then they said the film and labeling body of New Zealand posted a rating today for a video game called Batman: The Enemy Within. It lists Telltale Games as Kent Muddle. How would you say that? Muddle? Yeah, Muddle.
Muddle.
As its director, Muddle previously worked on an episode of The Walking Dead Michonne, as well as Telltale's Game of Thrones series.
Now that actually could be news.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, but we saw that coming a mile away,
yeah, but
right?
I want it. I just want it already. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Is like I feel like with like I finished season 3 of Telltale Walking Dead. And I was like, all right, cool. Like this is getting a bit long in the tooth now with where they are in this series. This season didn't stack up, I felt, as well as the other ones, right? But I'm starving for more Batman. Batman was so fun and so interesting. It took so many different twists, and then the way it ended, I'm like, yeah, totally. Let's pick up and see what's happening in that universe with their Gotham. I would want that. But I know I also know that anytime anybody does anything, I've done a lot of Telltale work and done shows with them and hosted panels. I know how fucking badly the audience wants Wolf Among Us 2. So for your sake, I hope that's what it is. I hope you're getting more Bigby. I hope that's the thing. But we will have to wait and see, apparently, this week at Comic-Con.
Well, they left it on such a cliffhanger.
Did they? See, it never clicked for me. It never ever clicked. So I never...
Wait, you didn't finish it?
No.
What?
My whole thing was I was at the event, right, when they're like, oh, we're making a Walking Dead game and we're making a Fables game or whatever. I was like, all right, cool. And I was like, man, I've tried to read Fables so many times as a comic book fan and I can't get into it.
You don't have to read Fables in order to enjoy this game.
I know that. But I played all of episode 1 and then half episode 2. And I did that, the bad sign where I was like, how long is this? And I Googled it and saw like McCaffrey's review and I was like, I'm not going to do this. And I know it's like 2 hours. It's a normal Telltale game.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm just not invested in these characters for people.
I think you'll enjoy it if you go back and revisit.
That's it's an easy platinum, I know. So that's pretty cool.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Well, that's always.
If you're downloading random PlayStation Store games just to get platinum, you can go back and play this game.
None of the games I'm downloading are random. They are known to be easy platinums that I can get in 12 minutes or less. That's why I'm doing it. We have a Telltale question. Sizzle37 wrote in to kindafunny.com/KFGD, just like you can and should. It says, Dear Greg, what the heck is up with Telltale Games? It is inevitable that they will continue to make more episodic games. It's what they do. And they've definitely put the point and click genre on the map. But seriously, fix the engine. They choose to spawn games left, right, and center, and now the rumors and hints about them releasing Game of Thrones Season 2, Batman the Telltale series Season 2, and My Darling the Wolf Among Us Season 2, I'm starting to lose hope that one day I and several other fans will get the last piece of this puzzle, a smooth, unbuggy, and enjoyable experience. Do you think they will ever slow down and fix their engine? What say you? Andrea, do you think they ever will?
It is. It's getting an upgrade.
They say that all the time. The Batman was supposed to be that too. They put physics in for the first time. They tweaked the engine. Still ate your saves. Still had people running around that were just eyeballs.
So this is a fair point. So we have talked about this. You and I have talked about this on this show. We've talked about it on the Gamescast before about my feelings about Telltale and their engine and how I had to stop buying their games as a protest against them not upgrading their engine. They hear this feedback. I've talked to people at Telltale. Sure. They know that this is a criticism that's widespread amongst their fans. And, they are working on it. How fast they're working on it is something that, we don't really have a timeline on.
Yeah.
If it's going to be coming sometime this year for the games that are still in progress, or if it's something like 2018 or beyond, we don't know. Maybe if you and I see them at Comic-Con, we can ask them.
Yeah, they'll do the same thing as always. Oh, we're working.
You never know. You have to keep asking, because someday they'll say, "Hey, we have an update." Right?
Yeah.
Eventually,
yeah.
We have to hope.
Physics on a cape or whatever. The thing is, I think it's what you're saying. Until people stop buying the games, until there's a drop in something, like, why would they? Sure, it's broken in a way. The games still run. You still get to play them. Sure, your save will get eaten. Sure, it'll crash 4 times in the boss fight at the end of the game. But they get to patch that and be done with it, and it's usually fixed to enough for you to enjoy the game the way it's meant to be.
Right.
I think it is that thing of, I bet a lot of it has to come down to licensing, that they're signing deals, right? And I bet, how deals work. Obviously, businesswoman Andrea Renee, of they're being like, all right, cool, we need the game out by this such and such date, and blah, blah, blah. So they're on this production timeline, I bet, for all these different projects that actually is super cumbersome. And hey, we can keep patching the engine as we go, but to stop and blow it all, you hope right now there's a team that have blown it up and are going from the ground floor, like, here it is, and one day they get to move over to that and get everybody on it. But I don't know. I mean, even though Telltale's way bigger than they've ever been before, they're still making more games than ever before.
But we've seen this problem with other developers who also have licensed deals for games where they have to put out a certain amount of titles over a certain amount of years in order to retain their rights to the license.
Hello, Activision.
Yes, thank you. I don't want that to happen to Telltale. I don't want them to go down a road where they sacrifice the quality of the content in order to keep a business agreement intact. That to me would be very tragic, not only for them and their reputation and the amazing work that they do on video games, but also for the fans of these games.
100%.
I think we all want them to be their best and to put out the best product. And we are patient people. We'll wait. You just have to convince, the business guys that that's what the fans are willing to do in order to get the best product possible.
Agreed. Yeah. And it'll just be interesting how they do it, because I think as long as they are making money, you got to wonder on the internal side, like what they know of, like how these are selling and what they are doing, and are they meeting the expectations and requirements and deals they have with these licensees. But for me, it was like, Guardians, I thought is the first Telltale game where I'm like, I'm interested in the source material, and I jumped in and played it in episode 2. I was like, I got to stop. Like, this just isn't working for me. And that sucked, because I like Telltale and I like Guardians, and this should have been a mash, and I like the cast, and this should have been a mashup that I was like, yes, this is perfect. This is great. Let's go. And instead I was like, meh. And even with Walking Dead, where I like, oh, there's a new one out, let's play it. And I'm playing through, I'm like, I'm enjoying this, but it's not Walking Dead season 1 again, where I'm like, stop everything, let's do this, let's get into it. Or Batman, which I thought was on that too. But then again, maybe I'm just being, picky in a way that I feel, Colin used to always be like, oh man, Telltale puts out too much stuff. And I was like, well, not necessarily, every person who's playing these games isn't necessarily playing every one of those games. And so that was the thing of like, all right, cool. I skipped Game of Thrones as not being a Game of Thrones fan. So by the time I got to play Tales from the Borderlands, I was like, I haven't played a Telltale game in a while. Like, it was like, I understand that the engine and the style of the game they make is like a TV network, and you know what the nuts and bolts of that network will be, but then it's just different content in there. Whatever. Andrea.
Yes.
If I wanted to know what was coming to the mom and grop shops this week, or today, actually, I guess it's a new thing, where would I go?
You would go to the official list of each and every upcoming title across all platforms as read by the Kinda Funny Games daily show hosts each and every weekday.
Okay.
I almost got it.
Yeah, you put a lot in there. It was good. You were closer than Danny ever is. This, you know what I mean? This Irish cream guy.
And did you see me not look at my script?
I did.
Thank you.
You did very well. That's right. It's the official list of upcoming software across each and every platform is listed by the Kind of Funny Games daily show hosts each and every day. Out today, we have a whole bunch of stuff. It's Tuesday, of course. After Grinder has come to PC. 99 Vidas comes to PlayStation 4, PS3, and Vita. Archangel has come to PlayStation VR. I got to play this a little bit at Judges Week. No, thanks.
Not for you.
No. Children of the Zodiarcs comes to PS4, PC, and Mac. Conga Master comes to PlayStation 4. Fallen Legion, Flames of the Rebellion is on Vita. Then Fallen Legion, Sins of an Empire is on PS4. We talked about this. Yuchi wrote in with some codes and stuff for that. 2 different games. You can when you could pre-order them, you got them both and a theme for $16. I'm not sure if you can still do that now that they're both out. But different games, different trophy lists. Kingsway is on PC. Orcs Must Die Unchained is on PlayStation 4. Robot Riot Hyper Edition is on PS4. Yonder, the Cloudcatcher Chronicles is on PlayStation 4 and PC. Didn't mention any Xbox stuff in there because I'm still learning the way the Xbox works. I go to the Major Nelson blog and what's coming out this week, and are they only listing? Do you know this? Are they only listing digital stuff there? Because their digital stuff obviously posts for tomorrow.
No, they would list
retail stuff.
AAA
I'm making sure I didn't get it wrong.
Well.
Yeah, okay. I was just making sure I didn't get it wrong. That all this.
But
stuff.
I don't think anything here is AAA.
I didn't. Well, yeah, and that was
except for maybe Orcs Must Die.
That's what I was wondering. Is Orcs Must Die Unchained a cross-platform thingamajig?
Yes.
I don't know. And of course, because what I'm doing is taking the PlayStation list, matching that up against the Kotaku list that has everything in quotes, and then I'm looking at the Xbox list. I'm trying to make sure I get everything. But when there's not one Xbox game, and I'm like, well, it's Tuesday. Something retail would have come to a store, right?
Yeah.
Feels like.
I'm looking up Orcs Must Die Unchained right now.
Look at that. I'm going to look at the camera.
You do that.
Drink some water.
Drink
because I don't know what's happening.
that water. No, actually, it's only listed for PS4 and PC.
No. Well, I left PC off there, so that's good. But there you know.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Come on, Xbox.
Maybe it's coming to PC at a different day. Maybe that's why you left it off.
Maybe, yeah. We also have some new dates, maybe. This is the most important one. It wasn't a news story. It's a new date, maybe. Patapon Remastered has an August 1st release date on the PlayStation Store now. That seems pretty real.
Are you going to be okay?
No. I now begin the emails to Sony PR of, can I have my code now? I must be close to being done. May I please see this game? May I please have the game? I don't want to get too excited because what had happened is a kid hit me up right before 9 o'clock with it on Twitter. I was like, okay. And I put it in the thing and I tweeted about it. And then I started refreshing the PlayStation blog because I'm waiting. Where's the big post? Where is it, Sid Schumann? Where is it, Ryan Clements? Give me the update. Also, the pre-order bonus for it's just a bunch of avatars. Where's my Patapon theme? Give me the Patapon theme, Andrea, right now. You know what I mean?
Why don't you make one?
I'm working on a kind of funny one.
Oh, fantastic.
I had bitched about that. A developer hit me up. We are going back and forth. If you're watching, developer friend, I saw that you emailed it to me. I haven't had a chance to load it yet on the test kit. But things are in motion for the kind of funny dynamic theme. Don't worry about that. Kevin's laugh nonstop in the background.
I can't wait to hear what music you pick.
Drive you fucking nuts. Undertale on PlayStation 4 and Vita is coming out August 15th. And then Windjammers coming August 29th to PlayStation 4 and Vita as well. Windjammers. Excitement.
Are you guys going to do a party mode?
Probably, I guess. I don't know anything about Windjammers other than it was a Dave Lang inside joke for a long time, and then that when it got announced at PSX or whatever, I was like, oh, okay. And I know Austin Creed, of course, has been doing stuff over on Up Up Down Down with it on PC, and he loves it. So,
are you familiar with like the basic gameplay?
Is it throwing a frisbee? No,
pretty much.
Okay,
that's really it.
Is that all I need to know about Windjammers?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just throw the frisbee back and forth.
Is it fun?
I had enjoyed it when I played it when they announced it. What was it? PSX?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I need to play it more, but
you will on August 29th.
To get good.
Get good. Like you're gonna play with Destiny.
I'm already good at Destiny. Thank you very much.
My apologies. I didn't mean to get in your way, Guardian. Deals of the day. Xbox put up some deals with Golden Spotlight stuff. Stuff that jumped out to me. You can get Mega Man, the Legacy Collection, for 60% off. You can get Devil May Cry. There's a whole bunch of different stuff up there, including Devil May Cry 4 and then like DMC stuff that Spotlight sailed. And then Battlefield 4, 60% off, but that's a deals with gold. So if you don't got that, you're also mad about the Destiny beta, and you're mad about not being able to get that deal. Let's check on the readers, Andrea.
Yes, let's.
If you want to be part of the show, ladies and gentlemen, it's simple. kindoffunny.com/KFGD. Go there, leave us questions, comments, make up your own segments. We all have a good time. Javier Bonnier Ruiz says, hello, Greg and Tim. I hope I got that right. I don't know who's on today.
You didn't.
Was very clear that Andrea, again, we're trying to, it's almost the real schedule. Almost. It's always going to change. Andrea today, Danny tomorrow, and Danny and Andrea Thursday. Danny on Friday, right? Yeah, that's right.
He's hosting by himself?
I got lost. No, I'll be there. But when I'm there, I don't feel like I need to be there. Anyways, Javier wrote in and said, I've heard nobody talk about Outlast 2. Did it bomb commercially? Also, have you guys played it? And if so, what are your thoughts?
Horror games like Outlast and Outlast 2 are not my jam.
Sure.
They stress me out. They make me scared. They make my heart race. I'm not looking for that kind of experience when I play games. The only exception I've made in recent memory was to play Friday the 13th.
Ooh.
That was really scary the first couple times I played, but now that I kind of have a better strategy and I know what's going on, it's not as scary. But
when we're all playing with the community and you're like yelling at all of us when you chase us as Jason, it's pretty great.
Basically, whenever you can be Jason, then it's not scary anymore.
Yeah. Did it bomb commercially? I don't know. That's one of those things. Remember, game sales usually get touted only when they're really great.
It has a 9 out of 10 rating on Steam out of 5,716 reviews.
Sure. And that's the thing. You start getting
to pretty good.
Yeah, but the problem is he's making a good point that you're not hearing people talk about it. And I think you're comparing it, of course, to Outlast 1. And that's the problem when you make a sequel to a game that comes out of left field. And that's what I was talking about with Tacoma, I think, where Gone Home caught everybody off guard, but we've seen so much Tacoma already that I'm like, I don't know if people are as ravenous and going to be as crazy about that when it hits.
Yeah, but Gone Home didn't catch people off guard before it came out. It became kind of this indie darling many months after its release as the word spread around the gaming community about this really unique experience.
Right.
And I think we'll see something similar like that with Tacoma, once more people get the chance to play it. But with Outlast, the first Outlast really did some unique things for the specific genre and was pretty universally praised as a great horror game.
Sure, survival horror, because it was, again, real survival horror. Let's hide from things. You can't fight these things.
Right, and what I've seen in various reviews of Outlast 2 is the reviews are pretty mixed. Some people really enjoy the different approach that they took with Outlast 2, and other people just did not like it at all. Talked about how some of the levels were broken, and some of the mechanics just didn't mesh with the vibe of the previous game, and that it just overall didn't stack up to the first Outlast, and maybe that's why we're not hearing as much about it now.
That's a good point. And I think to my point with Gone Home to Outlast and Tacoma to Outlast 2 is the fact that when something's brand new and you don't know what you're getting in for, the jump scares are new, and we haven't had a real survival horror game in quotes in so long where it's not we can fight things and shoot things and do this different stuff. I think that's where they were able to catch people off guard. And I think in the same way with Gone Home, it came out and it was that game of I played it because everyone on my Twitter feed was like, Justin McElroy was like, don't read any reviews, just go play it right now. Just stop what you're doing, go play Gone Home. And I think that's helpful, whereas Tacoma, we've seen so many demos for it already that I feel like I have a grasp of what the game's going to be, but maybe it won't be when it gets here. Same thing where I think it's somewhat hard to get excited for, it's that game that's going to scare me again in a very similar fashion, but then the levels won't be as good, or this is going to happen and all this different stuff. Ryan Johns wrote in to kindafunny.com/KFGD and says, Greg, you've gone on the record multiple times that you hate the Wii U. That's some pretty harsh language. While I acknowledge that the system had many flaws, I found myself having a great time with it. Titles like Bayonetta, Captain Toad, Kart, Pikmin, Splatoon, Smash Brothers, and Mario kept me coming back. Like you, I wasn't a fan of the tablet controller, but that isn't a very big deal because you can play most titles using the Pro Controller. Please explain your reasoning for hating a system with so many beloved games. I think it's the exact same. You're making the point for me. While I acknowledge the system had many flaws, I found myself having a great time with these games. Please explain your reasoning for hating a system with so many beloved games. Yeah, Wii U games were great. Fucking rad, sure. Booting that motherfucker up, taking forever to load up the menus, having to use that goddamn tablet controller, and sure, they updated this, that, and the other. That system sucked. That system was a relic that didn't deserve to exist. I hated playing it. I hated the fucking trying to touch the screen. They're making me do all this. It's not multi-touch. They didn't even try. It was a baby's toy for babies. It wasn't a good system. It didn't do anything it needed to do. And thank God Nintendo understands that and recognizes that and is taking the games that were good and putting them over here on the Switch, the definitive Nintendo console of all time.
Wow, the definitive Nintendo console of all time? Are you sure you want to go with that?
Sure, I'm just saying it. I don't care.
You're just you're on the internet, Greg Miller. You can't just say things like that.
I mean, well, somebody who grew up a Sega kid. It's better than GameCube in terms of what it's doing.
It's definitely not better than Nintendo 64 or the Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
Time will tell on that. All right, time's gonna tell on that.
Okay.
But what I mean, it's also what are we talking about?
We're not going to have that debate right now.
Well, there's not nearly enough data for it. No, I'm joking around.
That's correct. So I agree with you. The Wii U had many flaws.
Yeah. It had lots of great games. Captain Toad's great.
It did. It had several great games, dozens even. So I think that, you're justified in hating that system because that system was bad.
Having to drag it around and like, let's play Smash, but I still you got to plug in the stupid little light bar garbage
the sensor
thing.
Bar. Oh,
so much.
That was the worst.
And it's always tied up. It's always wrapped around some other cable that I couldn't get to. It's just, it's dusty. It's gross.
I mean, it's still in a box somewhere in my house. I haven't plugged it in years.
Mine's right over there. Hasn't been touched since we reinstalled it. Other than to reinstall it. Yeah. Don't try to catch me on a technicality, Kevin.
Nintendo knows that it wasn't their best work.
I know, and that's why it's weird that Ryan Johns is here for a hill to die on to defend his beloved Wii U. Yeah, it had a lot of great games, buddy. It was a shitty system, though. Nobody liked it. So they liked the games. Nobody liked the system. There's not many people saying like, oh man, this is a sexy piece of hardware. It's cool. It felt real good. No, nobody's saying that.
No, nobody's saying that.
Exactly, and that's the problem right now.
But what does Not Alex G have to say?
Not Alex G says... Why in 2017 do digital games still tend to be more expensive than physical games? Amazon gives Prime members 20% off newly released physical games. Why can't Microsoft or Sony do the same for digital distribution? Also, Mass Effect Andromeda is $30 digitally, but you can grab a brand new copy of it at GameStop for $20. Shouldn't digital games be cheaper virtually all the time? Yes, Alex. I mean, like Alex G, taking everything away from what you're saying, should digital games be cheaper? Of course they should.
Yes.
There's no employee we need to pay to sit there and talk to you about it. There's no truck we need to pay to have it ship it to you. The thing about this is that we are not to the point, because so many of you hate the internet and downloading games, we're not to the point where Sony and Microsoft can say, you know what, GameStop, fuck you. We're done. We're not doing that. We don't need you. They still need retail space. They still need you to be able to walk into a store and see boxes, and more importantly, buy the console off of it. So there's this dance they're doing, right, Andrea?
Yeah, no, I think you're right on the edge of making the point in that they can't make the digital games cheaper because it'll shift the market in such a way that it'll alienate their retail partners. And moreover, there are still millions of gamers around the world who do not live in a place where the digital access is good enough for them to be able to download these games on a regular basis. And if we look at the problems that we've spoken about on the show before, with storage on these new systems, that's already a problem. Can you imagine if you were to download every single game that you ever owned? I know some people out there currently are digital only, but I can't be digital only because it forces me to have to constantly delete my games. And then if I, on a whim, want to play something, then I have to spend hours reinstalling it. And that's just not the type of gaming experience that I or millions of other gamers out there like me are ready to have yet.
Yeah, that's the thing, is we're still catching up to where we are with technology. And the fact of the matter is that Sony and Microsoft need GameStop, and they need Walmart, and they need these people to have it on the shelves so that people at Christmas can walk out and buy it, and then you hopefully backdoor it. So you can't go in there and be like, all right, cool, everything's cheaper on our store. Sorry, GameSpot. Stop.
What's the reason that CDs are still being printed, and that technology, has been out for several years at this point. People buying music digitally has widely taken over, but they still print them and sell them at places like Target and Walmart because it's all about the marketing and the hundreds of millions of dollars spent on marketing these media products every year.
Yeah. If you want cheaper digital games, buy digital games. Give up on your collections. You don't need them. Don't be like Andrea.
Hey,
don't be a pro.
I like having my video game console box on my shelf in my collection so I can stroll into my gaming room and look at all the hundreds of games that I own.
Look at all the plastic I have. This is great.
I love that plastic smell. When you open a new game for the first time and take like a big whiff of the brand new plastic case, there's no other smell quite like it. That new game smell, Greg.
Garbage and junk at your house.
What? It's not garbage. It's on a shelf. It's collectible.
Yeah, it's decoration, right? It's all these different things. Yeah. I gave up on it so long ago. It's like so weird to actually put a disc into the PlayStation.
So you don't buy collector's editions ever?
No, super rarely. I'm not gonna say never. I bought like Fallout 4 with the Pip-Boy and stuff. I was like, well, that's a franchise I love. If they made a Patapon physical thing, I'd buy it. But that's because I want to support it. Now that said, like all the Uncharted collections, I never buy or whatever. Like I think we have the Nathan Drake stash
over there. Yeah.
But and then it's a weird thing of people send us stuff, obviously. But yeah, like when Dishonored came out and they sent us like all of us the collector edition with the mask and stuff, and we were just like, thanks. Like, what do we do with all this? We just wanted the game. Can you give us a code? Yeah. How often does that happen where you on a whim go in and play something old? Or old being just not what the hotness is right now, I guess.
Well, I guess what the definition of old is.
Yeah.
For example, I recently took out my Fallout 4 disc and put it back into my Xbox One and booted it up to play some of the DLC.
Sure.
And I wouldn't have been able to do that because that game is massive.
Right.
And it already I remember the first time I put that disc in to install it, it took like 30 minutes to install that game or something crazy. And that was from the disc. That wasn't from downloading it.
Right.
So if I didn't own the disc and I had to, if I deleted that game, which is, like 60 plus gigabytes now. How long that would have taken me to download and reinstall? Hell no.
Okay. See, for me, I feel like
you're doubting me.
No. This is what I love about gaming is the fact that we both love games so much, but we just consume them in such different ways.
Yeah.
Where it's so rare that I'm totally caught off guard of like, I didn't even think I'd want to play this weekend. You know what I mean? Like this past weekend, I was like, I'm going to finally buckle down and do Persona. And I played Persona and I was forcing myself to do it. I wasn't enjoying it. So I jumped back into Marvel Heroes Omega, right? But that was there. I keep my digital collection so tidy in terms of like, I have the folders and then at the very front of the folders are like the things I know I'm bopping around between or whatever. And then towards the back is when you get into, here's this weird indie game about a cat that I was going to eventually play, but never did. And it's over there. And like, so eventually those will be chopped off, probably never played. But like, that's it for me. Even if it is like, man, I feel like going back and playing Tomb Raider or whatever, it's going to be that, all right, cool. I think that's coming and I'll have the free time and I'll force the PlayStation to download it. Or like from here, how you can do everything when like I get a new code and I put it in and then it's there and I just send it at home and it starts downloading in there. I'm like, great. Excellent.
I just hate deleting games. It's
one
of my biggest pet peeves of this current console generation is I have to constantly delete games to make space for new games, and I hate that.
See, for me, it scratches the same itch as when you make the to-do list. And it's like go to the store and do this thing, and that feeling of going and being done with it. I feel like,
but what if you're not done with it? What if you want to play it and then it's not there?
Well, that's on you. You got to think. You don't delete it if you're going to get back to it. You know what I mean? You can't delete it if you're going to get back to it. But when you are done with a game, delete it. Don't get me wrong. There was that moment of like, man, I've platinumed Horizon, but there's DLC coming. And do I keep it or do I not? And
you keep it, of course.
I cloud saved the saves and then I deleted the game. Like what? I don't need it there. And when we're like coming up on it, I'll just re-download it and it'll be there and bring my saves all there and it'll be perfect.
Okay. Hey, you know what? You live your life. Yeah.
You do you, right?
You do you.
We're going to get into something here with Brent. Brent wrote into kindoffunny.com/KFGD. I don't think you have cursory knowledge with, I believe, your Paragon information, but you'll have to help me out.
Okay.
Brent says, Dear Greg, and most knowledgeable woman in gaming. And he says something about Danny, because he was just covering his bases, which I appreciate.
New Irish Wonder.
Marvel Heroes Omega launched on consoles before the 4th of July, and I've been playing it and enjoying it. What I'm not enjoying is the egregious prices for characters. 4 to 5 characters for $60 or 1 for $15. Are these too much money? Injustice 2 only charges $5 a character, for example. Greg, how much money have you spent inside Marvel Heroes Omega? Am I overreacting if these prices are the norm compared to other MOBAs? Voting with my wallet, Brent. Now, this is a complex question, Brent, so stick with me. I'm going to answer your question first, then dial it back, so stick with me. Marvel Heroes Omega, I've spent $0. I've spent $0 because I'm a privileged person. The gazillion guys know me. They gave me codes to unlock the people from the get-go, so I had it all there. Now, stick with me. When Marvel Heroes originally launched on PC, I'd had David Brevik on to talk about it on Up at Noon, and I left so impressed with his demo and what he was doing that I immediately went and bought the Founders Pack. So in Marvel Heroes lore, I guess, before it ever came out, I spent $150 on the game. Now I've spent none on the PS4 version, but like I said earlier in this episode, I'm totally back reinvested. Spider-Gwen's level 51 right now. I can't wait to 60 Prestiger. And then it's that thing where it's like, do I want to get the Platinum? And I'm like, no, we're just going to play and we'll see what happens. We're not going to put that on ourselves. From what I understand, and like you know better than me because you're having the true consumer experience of it, I thought it was that you could play every character up until level 10 for free. And then also, if you're playing with just one character you unlock for $15, you're earning in-game currency that you can then use to unlock other characters without spending money. Now, granted, as with most free-to-play games or anything like that, it's going to take you a while to accrue that. It would be more time-sensitive for you just to jump in and buy it. But it gets into this weird thing of like, how much is $15 or $60 worth to you, I guess?
I mean, this is the same thing that we were talking about earlier. You have to decide what content is worth your money, and worth your time. So if you want to play this game, you don't have the money, let's say, to fast track your gaming experience, then you're gonna have to grind it out. You think about it in the terms that these game developers have spent years of their life making this content so that you can enjoy it. Why should you get to play it 100% for free without putting in some kind of time investment?
Sure.
I think that that's a reasonable exchange to say, hey, somebody spent hours of their life, years of their life making this incredible product for you to enjoy.
Yeah.
They are going above and beyond and saying, we're going to let you play it for free. We're not even going to charge you anything. But in exchange, you have to give us hundreds of hours of your time in order to experience everything the game has to offer.
Yeah.
I think that that's fair. But if you want to fast track that, then you can pay to unlock things faster, and I think that's also a fair exchange. Now, have some games gotten it wrong? Have some games made the balance of what you get, time spent versus money spent, and what is unlocked, unfair? Of course. But I think the vast majority of games out there now have learned from those previous mistakes that other teams have made and the audience reaction to those mistakes, and said, hey, we want to do right by our fans, by the people who are consuming this game, and we're going to try to make a fair and balanced, pay-for-play ecosystem.
Right. And I mean, it's, for what he's saying here, Brent, he's saying that he's enjoying the game, right? It's just like these prices are egregious to him. It is that thing of, and I understand that it's different financial situations for every person. For me, it's always, especially with games we get for free for reviews or whatever to talk about on the shows. When I'm into a game and I'm like, holy shit, I love this game, what I'll do is go buy the season pass, even if I don't plan on ever touching it, right? Like I bought the Witcher season pass and I was like, I never
went back to it.
I never got out of the act 1 of Witcher, right? But the Witcher deserved it. It was great. And I think I did the same thing for Horizon, if memory serves. It's how you want to pay it forward and pay it back to people. And so for me, I mean, for Brent, I would say if you're playing with one character and you're into that character, that should take you enough time that you're earning the other currency and doing these things, and think about the hours you are putting into it. And it's that cost benefit analysis. It's what you feel something's worth. We're doing it right now with Kind of Funny Live 3, right? Of like, Sunday, the stream from 11 to 5 is free here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. We're having fun, goofing off. And then at 5 o'clock, it goes live for Patreon people at the $10 level. And it's for an entire week. Only people at the $10 level can see that show until it goes live for everybody on YouTube. And it's one of those people who are like, oh man, $10. And it's like, yeah, we consider this a pay-per-view experience. This is a 3-hour show we put on in San Francisco that costs us a lot of money, let alone the time Tim's been investing over the last month of editing it to the way he wants it and what this product is going to look like. It doesn't look like this show, no offense to this show. It doesn't look like the Game Over Greggy show where it's a few camera cuts and basic graphics. Like, it's an intense edit. We hired camera people. We had, all this different stuff in there. There's a quality to it that we hope you think's worth $10 and you'd give it to us for a month. But if you don't, no big deal. It'll be free eventually. But it's hard for when people are like, well, that's an outrageous price. Well, you don't know the financials behind it. Just like I don't know the financials behind the gazillion and running a studio and servers and people and porting.
Yeah, it's a good rule of thumb to always assume it cost way more than you ever imagined it could have cost.
Yeah.
Because production, whether it be video games, video media, like what we're doing, always costs more, particularly in time, than you could ever think it costs. It's really expensive. And so, is 4 characters at 15 or for $60, is that expensive? Maybe. I'm not playing that game. Yeah. I'm playing a game where all of the characters are free and then you pay for...
Yeah, how does Paragon work with it?
So Paragon, every hero is always free. So they don't, like other MOBAs, they don't gate access to certain heroes. Like in League, they have like a rotating roster of heroes that are free. In Paragon, all heroes are free, and then you pay in Reputation for these things called Master Challenges, which then allow you to unlock emotes. You can unlock... special power-ups and things like that along the progression of that character. So each character goes from level 1 to level 10, and then your overall level in the game goes from 0 to 50.
Gotcha.
And so you then pay for access to that. But you can also earn all of that in-game. The only thing that you can't earn in-game are coins, and then the coins can buy you special skins. So there are some exclusive skins that are... You can only buy them. You can't earn them.
Gotcha. Interesting.
But I mean, those are cosmetic items. They don't affect gameplay at all.
And that's what it always comes down to, right? As long as it's not pay to win.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's a different thing. But like, especially for Marvel Heroes, like, right, you can buy experience boosters or whatever. And you can use in-game's currency to buy those as well.
Yeah, you can buy boosters and
But it's like, I don't care if some guys playing through the game and leveling up to 60 in half the time it takes me if I'm playing through the other way. Like, whatever, that's his experience. It doesn't affect me on what's happening.
Right.
Andrea, you ready to squat up?
I am ready.
Today, True Kitten wrote in to kindafunny.com/KFGD, just like you can ask questions or be a part of this, and wants to be part of Squad Up. This is where, of course, I read someone's PSN name, their Switch name, their whatever name. You guys, if you want to play that same game, befriend them. You go have great times. It's great. So True Kitten wrote in and said, and the question he or she wrote was, how can I make online friends? And then True Kitten said, I know. I want to squad up on the Nintendo Switch. This will be my first time playing Splatoon, and it would be great to not roll alone. So get ready. Here comes the Switch code if you want to play Splatoon 2 with True Kitten. The Switch code is SW799206771783. Again, SW799206771783. That's True Kitten wanting to play Splatoon with you, the other squids out there. Thank you, Nintendo, for making such a great way to have online friends, just like that great Wii U you made. Really quality hardware. Andrea, what did we get wrong?
You know, we only got one thing wrong, sort of. It was more of an omission.
Okay.
So you forgot to mention that the Idolmaster Cinderella Girls Viewing Revolution and all of its DLC released today on PlayStation VR. That is...
What is this game?
So this game was originally released, I believe, in Japan. And now it has been localized, and it is a PlayStation VR exclusive. It is similar to Hatsune Miku VR Future Live in that players watch the characters perform songs and have the option to wave glow sticks and other items and cheer for them with the music. This is via Siliconera. So there can be 9 idols on stage at the amphitheater at once, and it comes with 3 songs.
I'm sorry, I didn't know I missed this. This sounds great.
You should play it.
Is it an easy platinum? It sounds like this should be an easy platinum if they're going to put it. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Kinda Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, July 18th, 2017. Thank you so much for joining us. Andrea, thank you for coming back.
Of course. I love being here.
When do you get back to do, because the What's Good Games crew was rolling on without you.
Yes, just 1 week.
Okay.
We had the lovely Mary Kish.
Yes.
She stepped in, and the girls talked about a bunch of stuff. I'm back this week.
Cool.
Alexa is out this week.
So
it'll just be...
You guys can't be in the same room anymore?
No. She has some family stuff that she needs to go to attend to.
Sure.
As we all do from time to time. So she's going to be out, and then it'll be me and Steimer and Britt.
Cool.
Just the 3 of us holding down the show.
Nice, awesome.
It'll be great.
That's real cool.
It'll be fun.
We're going to go do a Let's Play today. You're coming over for a giant thing. Can't talk about what it is, I don't think. I don't want to ruin it. But there's a party mode coming up that you'll get to, your debut party mode. Super excited about that.
Well, I might have to dip out early from this shoot. Logistics,
Don't
people.
You pull this fucking shenanigans. Don't you do this to me, Andrea. That means you just got to lose in your first game.
Damn it.
It's simple. It's a simple way to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, Kinda Funny Games Daily is here each and every weekday. You can catch it live as we record it on Twitch. You can tell us what we're doing wrong over on kindafunny.com/you're wrong, or you can pick it up on youtube.com/kindafunnygames or podcast services around the globe. No matter where you get it, please subscribe to the other platforms as well, so you can get this show to as many people as possible and infect them all with Andrea Renee and Greg Miller and Danny O'Dwyer and Tim Gettys and a little bit of Kevin. Just the right amount over there. You're doing great, Kev. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure to serve you. And the handshake.